U.S. President Donald Trump makes a campaign promise to demand a border wall for immigration security from Mexico, but he's denied by Democrats as an all-new viral starts right now. This is Kendrick Weeks for Viral. Glad you're here to join us. Let's get started. But first things first, use the hashtag right here, viral, to join in that conversation here on Connect and all our other social media platforms. Let's get started. All right. U.S. President Donald Trump made a campaign promise and demanded that he was going to build a border wall for immigration security from Mexico. But he's been denied by Democrats. Well, this whole thing got started in 2006 as the then President Donald Trump, as the then presidential candidate, told his supporters this.
Mexico is paying for the wall indirectly. And when I said Mexico will pay for the wall in front of thousands and thousands of people, obviously they're not going to write a check, but they are paying for the wall indirectly many, many times over by the really great trade deal we just made. Congress has to approve the deal.
Those promises and won the election. Now he is at a battleground with the Democrats about his border wall. But at the same time, he's taking his frustrations out on government workers who's not getting paid enough. As you can see this story.
President Trump and Melania together at the White House, asking children what they want for Christmas.
What's Santa going to get you for Christmas?
But the president's still stewing about the shutdown.
We need border security.
Earlier tweeting, "I'm all alone, poor me, in the White House waiting for the Democrats to come back and make a deal on desperately needed border security." The battle over the president's border wall will likely drag the shutdown past New Year's.
This is what Washington looks like when you have a president who refuses to sort of go along to get along.
President Trump adding to the confusion with another tweet about where the money will come from. The complete wall will be built with shutdown money plus funds already in hand. But congressional approval is required to reallocate any funds. Today, Democratic leaders Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer saying that Trump is, quote, plunging the country into chaos.
President Trump has been on a destructive 2-week temper tantrum, demanding the American taxpayer pony up for an expensive and ineffective border wall.
The White House has backed off its demand for $5 billion in border funding, but Schumer and the Democrats won't budge above $1.3 billion.
This is about politics. It's about hating Trump, and it's not about America.
We see now the government workers are suffering, and even a person you wouldn't even expect being in this had this to say.
You bitches can go check your pussy in the gynecologist with no motherfucking problem. Yeah, bitch. Grandma can check her blood pressure. Yeah, bitch. Motherfucking healthcare. Yeah, bitch. People gotta go to fucking work to not get motherfucking paid. Now, bitch. It's been a little over 3 weeks. Now, bitch. I know a lot of y'all don't care. Now, bitch. Bitches can go check your pussy in the gynecologist with no motherfucking problem. Yeah, bitch. Grandma can check her blood pressure. Yeah, bitch. Motherfucking healthcare. Yeah, bitch. People gotta go to fucking work to not get motherfucking paid. Now, bitch. It's been a little over 3 weeks. Now, bitch. I know a lot of y'all don't care. Now, bitch.
Carly B didn't have nothing to say, but she can relate to the government workers living paycheck to paycheck and trying to start a GoFundMe accounts to keep their livelihood, their situations, their financial securities going and stuff. But first things first, let's go back memory lane where Trump, Pence, Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi, the new Speaker of the House, sat down and tried to reach an agreement, but couldn't do so. Watch this.
For a moment, oh so brief, the president talked about working with Democrats, but then his border wall.
And then we have the easy one, the wall. That'll be the one that will be the easiest of all. What do you think, Chuck? Maybe not?
It's called funding the government, Mr. President.
So we're going to see, but I will tell you the wall will get built. We'll see what happens. Tremendous amounts of wall have already been built.
Tremendous amounts? According to the Department of Homeland Security, they've actually only repaired or replaced some 31 miles of fence that already existed. Now the president wants Congress to pass $5 billion for his border wall by next week, or he'll shut the government down.
I think American people recognize that we must keep government open. that a shutdown is not worth anything, and that you should not have a Trump shutdown. You have the White House,
did you say Trump?
shutdown.
Oh.
You have the White House. You have the Senate. You have the House of Representatives.
Pelosi's message to Trump on the wall: you don't have the votes.
But there are no votes in the House, a majority of votes, for a wall, no matter where you start.
Exactly right. You don't have if I needed the votes for the wall in the House, I would have them in one session.
Well, then
would be
we'll
done.
We'll do it.
It doesn't help because we need 10 Democrats in the
Don't put it
Senate.
on. The fact is, you do not have the votes in the House.
Nancy, I do.
The argument playing out before the cameras.
This is the most unfortunate thing. We came in here in good faith, and we're entering into this kind of a discussion in the public view.
But it's not bad, Nancy.
It's
called transparency.
Finally, Schumer forcing the issue.
20 times you have called for, I will shut down the government if I don't get my wall. None of us have said
You
it.
want to know something?
You've said
okay,
it.
you want to put that on
You
my...
said it.
I'll take it.
Okay, good.
You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay,
absolutely.
fair enough.
And
We
I am
disagree.
proud, and I'll
We
tell you
disagree.
what, I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck. I will take the mantle. I will be the one to shut it down. I'm not going to blame you for it.
Afterwards, I asked Pelosi if the contentious meeting was a sign of things to come.
Given what we saw in there, the bickering, the back and forth, what does this say about your ability to work with this president over the next 2 years?
Well, I told the president, as I've said over and over again, this new Congress will be something different from the Congress we have.
It was a shouting match. Everyone tried to put their own input into what they believe the government should be and putting their emotions in check on the table, but couldn't reach an agreement. Many wondered, would there ever be agreement between the two, where Pelosi tried to deny Trump from having his State of the Union address, and Trump coming back and counteracting her with not taking his plane to whatever overseas foreign trip. So is this a tit for tat? Even many say if Trump doesn't build his wall, that he will lose his base to get reelected again and abandon ship to his top priorities while in office. Many believe it's just only a matter of time before it gets from bad to worse. So when we talk about bad to worse, like we're saying, like with going on now with a lot of the government workers, it's a partial shutdown, but it can affect going to the next month to February, where people with food stamps could get affected. People with WIC could get affected. People with the government parks and stuff like that already been affected. It's going to take a toll on America as we slowly begin to unfold. President Trump and Congress had to put their differences aside and do what's best for the people, by the people, and of the people. Hopefully, they can get some resolution resolved and get government workers to get paid again and not be furlough workers and not being paid. So let's hope everything get back on track. But for now, we'll leave you this with President Trump and Nancy Pelosi. I've been KJ Dix for Viral. See you later.
My fellow Americans, tonight I am speaking to you because there is a growing humanitarian and security crisis at our southern border. Every day, Customs and Border Patrol agents encounter thousands of illegal immigrants trying to enter our country. We are out of space to hold them, and we have no way to promptly return them back home to their country. America proudly welcomes millions of lawful immigrants who enrich our society and contribute to our nation. But all Americans are hurt by uncontrolled illegal migration. It strains public resources and drives down jobs and wages. Among those hardest hit are African Americans and Hispanic Americans.
He promised to keep government shut down for months or years, no matter whom it hurts. That's just plain wrong. The fact is, we all agree we need to secure our borders while honoring our values. We can build the infrastructure and roads at our ports of entry. We can install new technology to scan cars and trucks for drugs coming into our nation. We can hire the personnel we need to facilitate trade and immigration at the border. We can fund more innovation to detect unauthorized crossings. The fact is, the women and children at the border are not a security threat. They are a humanitarian challenge, a challenge that President Trump's own cruel and counterproductive policies have only deepened. And the fact is, President Trump must stop holding the American people hostage, must stop manufacturing a crisis, and must reopen the government.